This is our first ever attempt at doing this. We're rolling out the format with our good friend, incredible writer, one of the most talented people we've met in our comic book journey, Steve Urena. Steve, welcome to the first ever attempt at We Have Interviews. We're doing this.
I'm glad to be your guinea pig. Thank you for having me.
That's it. We're testing it on humans first. No animal testing. Straight
animal testing. This Steve guinea pig.
I figure, we have a Steven. If we only need one. So if we're gifted with two Steves, if something bad,
that's the podcast when I get you out of here, where it's just Steven. It's just Steven. This is like back to the
Steve and Steve E.
Oh, well, Stevie would be if there's like a miniature version of like both of us.
I'm just gonna Photoshop both of you guys up here, just like the two devils, just like
devil yeah, two devils. Oh yeah, there's just no good coming out of either of our mouths.
Nothing great happening here.
Just horrible suggestions.
Oh, so
I can't wait. We have interviews. Let's do it. I'm very excited.
Heck yeah! So the way this is gonna work, we have let's say like 8-9 questions, a couple questions from the crowd for you, and we're also going to play a game called Comic Conjectures. I don't know if you're familiar with that game, but we've only done it a couple times on our podcast so far. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the glossary of the DC Comics Encyclopedia. We're going to pick a random letter, and I'm going to at random choose a character I've never heard of, and I'm going to see if you can just guess at what the character might be. It's going to be some obscure character that maybe you know. Maybe you're
I hope I get Ambush Bug, because that's the most obscure.
So Ambush Bug is
I think I can think of.
Right? Yeah, Ambush Bug was one of the first ones that I learned playing this game just by myself in my lonesome, where I was like, what the heck is this? And I was like, it's actually a pretty fun character. Like, what the hell? Like, how have I never heard of this? But so we're gonna do that later on. But for now, Steve, we have some hard-hitting questions for you. Steven, would you please start it off? It's a deep existential question that we have to start off with.
Steve, who are you?
Who am I? My name is Steve Urena. I am a horror comedy comic book writer. I have created the Fast Killer Sloth comic Slowpokes, which is now having its sequel right now in Kickstarter. I've created Santa fighting robots in Ex Machina, and a grandma fighting zombies in Zombie Date Night.
The shirt I'm wearing. Yep.
So that's who I am. I'm a goofball extraordinaire, and I make comics.
So, but Steve, who are you? no.
Peel back the onions.
Just peel back these layers until it's just a skeleton.
It's just all of us crying 10 minutes later.
What is this? What? We have issues again. We tried to have interviews and we failed, and we have issues once more. All right, Steve. What was your first attempt at writing? Was it a comic? Was it short stories? What was your first real attempt at going at it?
I would say my first attempt at writing, I'd say when I was in high school, really caring about what I'm writing about, probably a book report. I think I read, a teacher of mine said, oh, I should try honors, right? Honors English. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I remember we read The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, and that book, it changed everything, because I was like, oh man, this could be reading could be a lot deeper, and I can kind of explore different themes. And I think from there, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to try it writing. I'm going to give it a shot. And from there, I've been able to get better and better at what I do. But comics kind of came later, but essays, I think that's happened. I dabbled in poetry in high school. I just tried many different things because I was like, okay, people don't hate my writing, so let's get better at it.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, dude, that totally makes sense. And that's kind of what happened with me with Madman, where I was just like, I read that and I was like, oh, you can be kind of introspective and philosophical and also goofy as hell at the same time. How is this possible? And I'm just like, you learn it's like, oh, you can actually explore these things and write. I love this. So, what was your first attempt at publishing, and the first thing you published? Is that the same thing? And do you have any near misses or fails or
I mean, so I used to be a journalist, so I guess that would be my first attempt at publishing things is trying to get articles out, trying to get into magazines.
Brag. No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny as when I was in college, I was a creative writing and journalism major, and I'm like, man, I'm really looking to make no money here. So, because like the minute I got out of college, like all newspapers died, and like, creative writing, it's this, it's hit or miss. But yeah, I mean, the first, I guess, publishing thing would be those articles, but I mean, first, like self-publishing something that like I wrote and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go all in on this with Slowpokes because I wanted to bet on myself. I was like, I think this is entertaining enough. I think this is fun. I think people would like to check it out. I'll at least hopefully make my money back for going into this story. But and I did, and luckily I was able to make a little bit more. So it was like Zombie Date Night was able to be funded from that, and being able to work on many different projects in the comic space.
It's awesome. And Slowpokes is a really fun and awesome read. Like, I mean, that was like when I first joined Twitter, you were basically the first like comic guy I even like went for, bought the issue, was like, oh, this is cool. Because I think I made a joke with Anthony about sloths being slow and this and that, how they should be quick or something like that. And he's like, oh, you have the comic for you right here, buddy. And I'm like, Slowpokes. I'm like, there's so many awesome sequences in that first comic. So that's definitely a great first comic. Like that's a great effort that you did there. That's an awesome start to your career.
Well, it's also I always say for this, like I love being the sloth guy. Like people have now been giving me, like I've been getting stuff every now and then. Like I've been getting sloth ties, sloth socks, like sloth
that's awesome.
Christmas ornaments, a little bit of everything. But
Steven, our next comic book, Killer Money. Just money, just coming at you, money, like $100 bill.
All people do is just send us their money, but with drawings on it, like American currency. It has to be legit American currency. Everyone,
it's the only thing that scares us.
You can make that deep too, where you're just like,
oh yeah,
it's a social commentary on how,
how it's evil.
The financial word, money is the root of all evil, and here it is.
Oh, the almighty dollar. Steven.
Wait, hold on. Before this, you got to do the Scrooge McDuck jumping into the money, but the money
yes.
Eats him.
It comes up. It's like a bunch of baby piranha monies that turn into one big, like, it's the tremors of money.
The tremors of money. I think you got something there.
Yes.
Just a million paper cuts, that'd be horrible.
Oh, I think you got something because like money is horrifying. Like in terms of just like handling and everything, you can get disease from it.
It's like a Komodo dragon's mouth,
That actually that could be the birth of that particular monster. Like the people trading the money, a little bit of blood gets on it, and that transfers to someone else.
Summons the great money demon.
Eventually they put that dollar into the bank, and then it forms this like amalgamation, like this weird
which uncannily looks like Jeff Bezos. Like it's just like kind of
just perfect.
I mean, even the money machines could be evil too, like the evil ATM, like what I mean, that type of thing. Like, the thing like you put your money in and like eat your hand.
Oh yeah, for sure. The card readers, card readers on people's phones too, like just like start to But so yeah, we know that you're currently working because it's already on campaign. So how is the campaign for Slowpokes 2 going?
Slowpokes 2 is going great. Thank you guys for backing. I appreciate that. We are already funded. We still have a month left to go, so it's more or less just getting the word out. And for those who missed maybe Slowpokes the first time, you're able to get the first issue in digital or in physical form this time around. But it's just a continuation. So I love summer. This is a hot sloth summer. That's what we're tagging this. But I thought it would make sense to take the Slowpokes to a summer camp, basically a weight management camp. So heavyweight meets.
Oh man, heavyweight meets. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
I'm excited.
I love the catch up tiers when people do it's so important, and like people. It's like I feel like every tier needs to just have the opportunity for like the PDF of the previous book, because it's like, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've been happy to discover a book, and then I've been like, oh, I can't even get issue 1 unless I go find your website somewhere else, but I want to back this, but what am I gonna do? So dude, it's so good. So for anyone watching right now, like Slowpokes, get them. Like, I can't freaking wait. Like, I wrote on I wrote to you guys recently where I was like, I want to be in issue 3, so I need to like save up some money before this campaign ends. I literally just took my son to Universal, and then we went on a trip, and then we were like, so I'm like, I need more money. I need some guys. Okay, so for anyone watching right now, I'm terrified of money.
It's so scary. It's so scary. It's the spookiest. It's so spooky.
It's so spooky. But anyway, so everyone, the links are below in the description. Go check out that campaign. It is live right now. And, like Steve said, it is successful. So you're paying for a book is what you're doing.
You're backing a creator. I always like, just because a Kickstarter is funded doesn't mean that I'll just get it once the book's printed and he's got the money to, no, get it now. This is like the best time to get it. Like, it's the easiest time for everybody involved. Like, I mean, it's just one mass ship out and everything like that. So you're backing you're backing.
So like, Steve, you have like the coolest reward stuff that anyone ever has. Like, it's like you have theme songs for some of this stuff.
Right? We got a Slowpokes theme song. I hope we get to play it later. I could send it to you guys. But we also have t-shirts. We got posters. You can get killed in it. We got postcards. We got koozies, which I'm very excited for. So if you want to have a hot slot summer, or you just want to keep your drink warm, or keep your drink cold.
Nothing like warm blood sloth beers.
Warm blood sloth beers. That's right.
But dude, it's amazing though. So I hope everyone checks that out. I mean, that's what we're doing here. We're here to help you and promote you, and also just support you in the community, because I
hope I get to do the same. Also, like you were saying with funding, every dollar that goes into any of these Kickstarter campaigns, anything extra goes towards the next project. So I would rather give my money to you guys, but like, if I'm taking the money, I'm going to put it towards the next project.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But like,
that's definitely how it even worked with this. Like, for example, this Comic-Con we did recently, it was, we don't have Deathless Kickstarter money yet. So it's like, we just have our funds to be able to create and continue to produce. We have a separate account, and that's where our creative funds go towards everything. So
when you guys did your first Comic-Con, did you guys get mobbed? From being 1/3 of the most handsome guys.
We're getting there.
You would think we were doing pretty good though. I mean, I had that one guy that sat and talked to me about anime for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, there was the guy that talked about anime for 45 minutes. He didn't stop. Then the other guy, he was talking about anime that his daughter liked for 45 minutes, and he didn't know about it, but he still needed to tell us.
Oh, that guy was funny, the New Yorker or whatever. Yeah. And what's funny about me is I don't even watch, I watch Dragon Ball. I'm like the most basic bitch when it comes to anime. I don't watch anime. I love Dragon Ball. Trigun was cool. Like, that's like the extent of my anime knowledge. So it was pretty, but me, I rolled with it. But anyways, it was a good time.
You would like
that. I've heard that's good. I've also heard Demon Slayer is really cool.
Yes, Demon Slayer is really cool. That's on Netflix.
I want to check that out. The animation looks crazy in it, but
yeah.
We talk about anime for 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I was kind of hoping this guy just named his daughter Anna May, and like that's
You're talking about Anna May.
It's Anna and May.
Sounds like the most boring anime ever. Like you're saying, like they're singing at plays and stuff. What's going on here?
Talking about anime.
So Steve, what are your biggest issues with creating and publishing these days? Like, what are the things that actually get in the way the most, and like what's hardest to deal with?
So luckily for me, with creating these things, they're a lot of fun. This is my happy place. So like, I have a real job and everything, and I love my real job, and it also pertains to writing. But it's like, this is my place to escape. I think the hardest part is just finding the time to create. And I think it's weird. Like, I feel like I have the opposite effect. So some people have that like imposter syndrome. For me, I'm like, I am happy to be an imposter. Like, I want to be an imposter. I want to do things differently, hopefully. For me, leaving a project or saying goodbye is the hardest thing, because I'm having so much fun. I don't want this to end. So it's just like closing
the book on a relationship, basically.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck, I gotta, I'm done, but I'll go back to this hopefully later.
Is that why, like, at the end of Ex Machina, is that why you were like, the end question mark also clearly Slay is alive. So like we're coming back to this, baby.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let it die. Like
that's the thing. I mean, I feel like the other stories will end at some point, like Zombie Date Night and Ex Machina. But like Slowpokes, I'm like, I can go on forever. I was like, if I need to pick up the space, I need to go back in time. Whatever I got to do.
Well, yeah, because Slowpokes in itself is almost a parody of horror too. So like you can literally just pick and like horror parodies itself. So it's almost like a parody within a parody, like Jason in space, Slowpokes in space. I mean, you can literally, there's so many different elements you can easily, for sure, continue that running awesome joke with,
until the horse is dead.
The horses, so you beat that
zombie sloths, and that's it.
Yeah, and then I combine everything. It's zombie
zombie
sloths on Christmas and
Return of the Living Sloths on Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
I have to say, like, I didn't play, not going too much. Oh, good.
I'm sorry. So I was also thinking at some point, if I have to do the Ex Machina Slowpokes crossover, do Snowpokes.
Snowpokes. That'd be great, though. Just
oh my god. So like, speaking of, I mean, I didn't want to go too much into Ex Machina because we're talking about Slowpoke, but like, dude, my favorite line was something. What does he say? Something's gone wrong with Santa's ass magic.
So you could thank my co-creator Misty Graves for that. Misty Graves, great comic creator. It's really funny with that story because last year I was like, you know what, I want to work with a partner, but I got to figure out what it is. We met on a podcast. She had me on her podcast, and I was like, oh, like if you have ideas, let's talk about them. And sometimes you say that, and sometimes you never hear about these people. Hear from people again. So we started talking, and I was like, you know what, give me some ideas, and I'll give you some ideas, and let's figure out something we can work on together. And she had an idea for like a kind of like a Google, like a Twilight Zone type of story, where it's like Google, except you type in your wish and it comes true. Like, you know what I mean? Like automation. And I had like evil elves. And I was like, what if we took those two ideas and mixed those together, and it's like Santa fighting robots? And like, that's how Ex Machina was born.
That's awesome.
I love that stuff, dude. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good segue, Steve, for like, combining ideas, getting ideas going. Here, let me fix this real quick. All right. So for combining ideas and getting ideas going, we're going to play a game with you, Steve. Let's called Comic Conjectures. Let's do this.
All right.
So
do you have like theme music, like comic?
What was that? What was it? Marvel. I forget what my theme song was last time. I was like making a joke.
It wasn't that, Steven. It wasn't that.
It was the best. Comic Conjectures. See, I make stuff up on the spot. That's the problem. Comic Conjectures with Anthony, Steve.
That was pretty good. That was solid.
That was
I'm gonna need a clean take. Everyone just quiet down. I need to do exactly that 4 times. No. Okay, Steve, since you're our guest, we'll let you choose. Give me any letter, preferably not X, because X has a limited amount of characters.
Let's go L.
L. Okay,
that's a good letter.
All right, let's go L, and I'm going to right there. Let's see. Okay. This sounds like a group, so I don't know. Maybe I'll find one that's not a group. Hang on. Some of these are too easy. Okay, I don't know this one. Lady Clay. Do you know Lady Clay?
Is that just a woman version of Clayface?
Clayface? That's what I'd imagine, right? That seems like it's just them like, ooh, Clayface can be anything, and there's a lady version, right?
How about a lady?
Probably. I'm gonna guess that's what that is. Let me see. Okay, here. Let's go. Leather. Do you know leather? Like
just leather?
Like
leather by itself?
Leather, just by itself.
It's leather by itself.
It's leather. It's literally a piece.
It's like the artist formerly known as Prince is leather by itself.
Artist formerly known as Cow.
Leather.
So, okay, in DC Comics, there's a character called Leather. Now I must ask you, my friends, is Leather a hero or a villain? What do you think? Villain?
Got to be a villain, right?
Leather
just
right?
invokes imagery of tough exterior, rugged, like that's...
Is it like a BDSM situation?
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, is it like leather and lace or something?
Sadistic, like almost like...
What would be... Do you think they have powers?
So, Steve, I'll let you shoot off first, and then I'll...
Oh, is that what we're doing about leather, Steven?
Leather's
shooting off together, one at a time.
Leather is probably shooting off before any of us are.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're asking me if leather is like
what powers do you think
yeah,
leather might
So
have?
yeah, what powers do you think leather might have, Steve?
I'm thinking like a whip. I know that's bad.
That's not. I mean,
don't know
it's
anybody else.
like my mind just immediately went to like I said, I was already thinking like rugged, tough material. So I'm thinking like he's almost like a Luke Cage situation, like a very in like indestructible surface skin, like maybe like
Okay, that makes that
very durable. You know,
maybe it's like a leather head, or it's like
Yeah.
the guy, like the guys for the old timey football players.
yeah. I mean, it
that could be it too. Like he's like
has so
a
much of
retired football.
that, too.
Yeah,
So,
like
okay,
Brandon
so we're
Garrett.
going with BDSM old school football. Like that's not a thing.
There's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack. Who do you think who do you think he or she is fighting?
Ooh. Okay. I mean, everyone.
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man. That would be fun. It's probably the Flash or Batman because that's always the case. But like, I don't know. Okay, so are we thinking villain? Like, are you thinking like sexy? Or are you thinking like masculine or like sexy feminine leather?
I'm thinking sexy. I could be wrong.
So definitely Freddie Mercury-esque is what I'm hearing from you, Steve. I'm hearing you're like we're going like full Village People, but Freddie Mercury, like leather, who has the ability
leather.
to. What do you? If
I
they
want to break free. He just like pulled his leather off.
I've always wanted to see a sketch on like SNL where it's like you're the neighbor that moved next to Freddie Mercury. So like this guy's up at like 2 a.m. and he goes like "Bad it," and you're like shut the fuck up. Bad it. This guy doesn't shut up. Bad it.
He's just practicing. He's got his buddies that come over and sing in different keys at the same time. It's just...
Bad it. I feel like Freddie Mercury also too, if he was like making breakfast, he's like pancakes.
pancakes. So okay, so leather was is a villain. Mary Kay Tanner, which by the way, Tanner leather like
Mary Kay too.
Yeah, Mary Kay. So Mary Kay Tanner.
I went Full House with that, by the way. I was Mary Kay Olsen and Tanner. I wasn't following the leather tanning at all. I was like Full House all the way, baby. Uncle Joey, Uncle Jesse.
Clearly a hero. I won't hear otherwise. Everything was wholesome in the Tanner residence. So this is the lesser Tanner who unfortunately / fortunately had metahuman powers that gave her leather-like skin and claws. At 16, she became the leader of a band of coyotes who smuggled illegal immigrants back and forth between. She doesn't sound like much of a villain.
Not a villain. I mean, is that a villain to Warner Brothers?
That's what
depending on when she came out, she could have been a villain to the American political system. I mean, like.
Okay, so she's freed by the Joker and returned to smuggling it. Like, she doesn't sound like that much of it. I'm sure there's a lot of murdering going on. That being said, you know what? She sounds like a poison ivy of the people, is what I'm hearing.
Yes,
like, that's
and a friend to Hispanics.
Yeah,
yeah, like a friend to me. So
yeah. So I okay. We learned something today.
She's leather.
Okay, so her powers are leather-like skin, low-level super strength, which. What a weird thing to comment on. Like,
give her a little bit.
Give her a little bit. Like, you had to throw shade in there. You couldn't just be like, yeah, she's strong as hell. Like what are you talking about?
Like low level super strength, but high level human strength. Why don't we like pitch it a different way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, when they pitch Captain America, it's like above average strength, above average, but no, they're like low level superhuman strength.
What? Okay.
It's the same thing. She's Captain America, basically.
She could lift like a table, but she can't lift like an armoire, for some reason, which is sexist and terrible.
I mean, DC really wasn't on the same train Marvel was on in the 60s. So
no, they're like, we ran out of names. We need something leather. That's it.
Well, they're just in the bedroom together, just like, what should we call our next hero? Like, I don't know about hero. I feel more like a villain in what I'm wearing. Gasp! All right, give me
pop up too for gas.
Gas. So, all right, Steve, give me another letter. Let's do one more.
Let's see. Let's go F.
That's exactly where my finger is. It's crazy. Yeah, like literally, it's so funny. I just did that. Like, if you watch back on the tape, I literally just did this randomly, and it was on F. So, and I'm pointing at Fang, which I don't know. Do you know Fang? I mean, that could be vampiric. That could be a werewolf. That could be just like a wolf creature. It could be.
But But is it Fang, F-A-N-G, or Fang, like F-E-N-G?
No, F-A-N-G. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Fang,
like,
like
it
vampire
could
fangs.
be a
Yeah.
martial arts expert
Right,
too.
right. I mean, it still could be.
That's also a werewolf.
Yeah, and also, well,
That's a good one.
oh man, what was that movie? Have you ever watched that? The Werewolf Samurai movie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I need to see that.
Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. It's not Zatoichi, it's the Blind Swordsman. It was, it'll come to me after we film. It's crazy. It's so much fun, and like yeah, anyway, I'll put a link below to like the trailer so people can watch it.
So like the Silver Samurai would just wreck that movie though, right? Like he's just made of pure silver. He's just shredding werewolves.
Just killing oh my god. This is just murder.
Okay, so Fang, do you imagine hero or villain?
Villain.
Sounds like a villain. Like it seems like it would be an obvious villain. It would be cool. It'd be cool if it were.
I would love a story. I would love a story where this guy's named Fang, and like he's nice and he's a good guy, but because of his name and his appearance, people just always think he's a bad guy.
I save people's lives. I saved that 3-year-old girl from the well.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, what if it's just like a mean nickname? Like, hey,
my name is Jonathan. Leave me alone. Yeah, whatever, Fang. It's just he just has like one tooth that just hangs over. It's not even bad. It's just like barely there.
He has no powers. He's just a guy.
But he's a straight hero. Like everything he does is he helps people push cars when they're broken down. He's just like running into fires and helping kids. And like
the purest of heroes.
Purest of heroes, but with one small little snaggletooth and just kind of stuck with him. People have to be jerks.
I just imagine like a J. Jonah Jameson type with a cigar hanging out. Fang! That's what I call him. Not this article.
We gotta get Fang. He's going through the city biting people. We gotta get him out.
I don't bite.
Like forbidden soul. I bet that one. Oh man. Okay. Let me see. So you're thinking
Fang is probably. Well, I'm thinking like probably some kid just like all of us who were really into White Fang when they were like 8. Did anyone else go through that phase where we're like White Fang is the greatest thing ever? But I'm guessing like something wolf related, possibly like maybe he's maybe a werewolf, maybe maybe he has a pet wolf named Fang or something like that, possibly.
My name's Eugene, Steve? But this is cooler. Fang is cooler. Call me Fang. That's my father's name.
All right, hang on.
Fang.
All Fang. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found 3 other monstrous misfits. Oh man, he's a monstrous misfit of some sort, but he's such a low-level nobody in the DC Comics universe that he's not even specifically in the book. He's listed with Gross Out, who I've also never heard of.
All right, we're going to Gross Out. What does Gross Out look like?
I've seen a picture of Gross Out, so I can kind of tell you what. But like, what do you think Gross Out is?
Again, another mean nickname for somebody who just has like acne or something. You know, like, Gross Out and Fang.
Gross Out and Fang.
So his
newest
Gross Out's it says occupation rock drummer. It says his special powers and ability. He's of vast bulk. What a weird description.
It's exactly what we said.
Resume.
He's just a fat guy.
Vast bulk.
Oh, and possessing an insatiable appetite. Laid down a heavy beat. That's also listed in there. He can lay down a heavy beat. He has an insatiable appetite.
Start a music group, White Fang.
Yeah. So apparently, Gross Out meets a group of other like monstrous misfits, and they form probably a band. And
we're probably not that far off base with the whole Snaggletooth thing.
Yeah. And yeah,
sounds like we were right on the money with it.
You know,
his band is called Scare
Tactics.
We're a band of misfits. We're actually just normal, ugly people, but for some reason
people think we're mutants. We're not mutants.
We just people.
Oh, you guys here for the be extras in this horror movie? I guess I'll take your money, but I don't. I've been insulted less, I guess. So yeah, I'll take this.
Hey, I made you this uniform. Grossed out? Who's grossed out? You are.
You're grossed out now.
Like, names are on their like IDs, like their licenses, like gross be out, like something like that.
The whole system failed them.
Oh man,
the whole system failed. That's the tagline for their fucking movie. The whole system failed them.
Could have been heroes. Wouldn't let it happen. Sorry, society. All right, Steve. So we have some questions from the crowd. Questions from the We Have Issues fans. So Ronnie wants to know, what would you do if you had to face one of your killer sloths in real life? What do you think? How would that go, Steve?
I would run, but they would catch me and slit my throat, and then like take my head and like play with it. That's because they want.
Yeah, they're pretty violent little creatures, aren't they? I mean, every death in the first book is pretty graphic and crazy and awesome. So,
oh yeah.
So for the second one, the deaths get more graphic and more crazy. I also got to kill my dad in it, which was pretty cool. So my dad backed the highest tier of the last one. He's like,
okay.
So he's Dominican. So he goes, Steven, like, oh, I want to support you. I was like, all right, do you know what you got? He goes, no, I don't. What did I get? He goes, I go, I'm going to murder you. And he goes, all right, make it good then. Make it good. So I get to I decapitate my dad in this with the sloth, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's so great. So go back slowpokes, and maybe you can get decapitated by a sloth. I'd be like, yeah, lots of fun murdery sloths going on. So we also had a question from one of our other great friends, Edwin, who asked, what is your favorite slasher series? And also, is there a slasher series or slasher movie that helped inspire slowpokes?
So I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite slasher. I mean, I love Jason, I love Michael Myers, but Nightmare on Elm Street, I feel like is so creative.
Yeah.
And the fact that we haven't seen a new one, even just you could do it animated, you could do so many different things with that.
Yeah.
Is a travesty. So I would say Nightmare on Elm Street. And then for slowpokes, a lot of that was inspired by different slasher movies, different horror movies, but it was mostly inspired by the sci-fi movies, like the Mansquitos, like the
yes.
I mean, just going into Blockbuster and seeing all the crazy art, you know what I mean? Like I hit a treasure trove the other day because I went on Tubi, and Tubi had like some of the best, worst horror movies of all time. Me and my girlfriend just watched Frankenhooker the other day.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I mean, obviously, something like that would not be made today because it's very misogynistic. But it is very like very punchy. I was very entertained by it. So like, and also on a side note, which is funny, Trauma. This is one of the biggest like regrets, like what ifs in my life.
Yeah,
I got through to become an intern for Trauma.
No way. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, a few years ago. And I couldn't do it because it was too far away from my parents' house. Like there was no money, obviously.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
But it was like, yeah, of course. But they were like, oh, you got in or whatever, but you have to drive out here from New Jersey to Long Island every day, like 2.5 hours. I was a kid. I didn't have any money.
Of course.
I wasn't able to do it. So maybe one day me and Trom will work together on something. But that's always the biggest like, oh, what if that happened or what?
That's. They were one of it was like the first film company where I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do that with them. Like they make it, and it's in the best and worst way, and they know it, like. Yeah,
but that's the charm of it. Like you can see that people put love in it. I think when you put love in your work, it doesn't matter what it is. Like people will respond to it. Like we just watched this movie on HBO Max called Golden Arm about a female, arm wrestler, and it was awesome. Like it wasn't Godfather 2 anything, but you could tell they put love in it. You could tell they had a good time doing it, and it was a lot of fun.
Dude, I love that. I mean, that stuff is so hard. It's so those are the movies that are the hardest to get people to watch for the first time, but the movies that also like people fall in love with the hardest when they do. And
less is always more, and like whatever they had to, they didn't have a crazy big budget or anything. They just worked with what they had.
Yeah, man.
And that's when that's where creativity can roam free, which is really cool.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That's like I learned that real hard from Robert Rodriguez as a kid. It's just one of those. You watch his movies growing up. And I was just like holy crap, he made this for $7,000, and he tells you exactly how he did it. This is incredible. I'm just like walking through that and just like, oh, he's literally just doing his best to solve problems creatively as they come, and it's just improvising his way through in the best way. It's so great.
I mean, when you get the more creative you get when your back is against the wall. It's like, this thing broke. Okay, what do we got to do to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, it can be hard, dude. Like I know a lot of people, and it's hard to talk to other people about it because like not everyone has that. And I know like there are some things that you clearly you can't walk off or shake off or whatever, But there are some sometimes there are those situations that feel insurmountable, but those are the times where you find that in yourself to be the most creative and the most like constructive and like productive through that hardship, and like it's not easy. But
I mean, you guys too, like with Deathless, I'm sure you have a page count. I'm sure there's more pages you would like to do.
Oh, dude.
But you're like, I gotta get it down to 24 or 20 pages, and that's when you're like, okay, how can I figure out to get everything and make it make sense? I think that's when the more creative stuff comes out.
Oh, dude, heck yeah. Like we've, I mean, it definitely happened with Deathless a few times where it was like, oh, if I put this panel up here, I don't need this, and actually, what that does, it displays this a little more. It's crazy, dude. I can't wait for people to see Deathless. I'm sure you feel the same way about like Slowpokes too.
So, I mean, Deathless as well, but like, so since we're talking here, so talking about writing comics, what's your guys' like creative process? Like, how do you go from like, I guess from story or from idea to completion? What is your guys' process?
Hang on, Steven's internet shut down, so he's slowly coming back. He's so funny. Yeah, we don't need him. We don't need Steven. No, but basically, what's always happened is I'll pitch an idea to Steven, and I'll just be like, "This, I think, has legs. Like, this is something I really think could be a lot of fun to work on. Like, let's talk about it." And then like I'll pitch him my whole idea, and if he likes it, I can tell right away. It's like something like, it's like you can see that like that light in him where he's like, oh man, wait, what if this? And he kind of like starts coming up with like character stuff where he's like, oh well, he can look like this in this form or this and this form. And like I can see when he's excited about something, and then I just from then just like outline right away, and I'm just like, all right, let's get this done. So I outline, and then I jump into issue 1 and I start telling him all the stuff that we're going to need for issue 1. So I'm just like, we're going to need these characters. I describe like all the characters to him. And then like, once he has like an idea of like the character design that he needs to do, I start writing. I was trying to do this so we didn't have to edit much, but Steven had to ruin that for me. No, it's cool. I figured that the interviews are probably going to come out like Friday or Saturday. So we're going to do like, yeah.
All good. No, you guys always have a good show. Congrats on over 100 episodes, which is pretty
thanks, dude. Yeah, it's been.
I mean, listen, it's also crazy because like Kickstarter, everything's changed in the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
So like things is different, and it's cool to see that you guys are still thriving and getting followers and having more content. It's really cool.
Yeah, dude. It's been it's been crazy. Like for a while, I still don't see Steven.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, let me see.
I literally kicked my power strip. I was laughing, and then I kicked my power strip, which I never do. And then like I knew my computer was going to go out before my computer even went out because my mic, the power to the interface went out first. So I heard my mic go boop in my ear. I'm like, crap, and everything just went. Pew. I was like, damn it!
From all that Fang.
All that Fang. I was getting too excited over here. Leather and Fang got me going. So
yeah,
that's a good name for a band too. Leather and Fang.
Leather and Fang.
Oh man,
like BDSM werewolves.
Yes. We are gonna make a werewolf music video soon. So Steven, we were just talking about our process. And I got to the point where I start writing the issue. So basically what we do is I thumbnail and then write, but I only share the writing part with Steven. I never show him my thumbnail, so he's free to just make whatever he wants. And like it's been so rare that it's ever happened, but like if Steven ever gets stuck on something or is like, I don't know how you want me to fit this, this sounds crazy, I'm like, oh, this is what I had in mind. I have something to show him, but like dude, like almost I'd say like at least 2% of the time what Steven comes up with is better than what I like. No.
And that's actually the hardest part for me is camera perspectives and stuff like that. So like, but I just want to like do it. But like you're actually really good at it though.
I mean, I'm just kidding. It is like 90% of the time Steven adds like some magical element that wasn't in the writing where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna write that after the fact. So if anyone wants to read the script, it looks like it was me.
Dude, it's so funny too because like when that happens, like because what'll happen in what I usually do when Anthony sends me the script is like I'll always read it somewhere like at work or something, and I'll give it one like if he sends me a page, I'll read that page, and then I just think about that page all day. And then what ends up happening is I remember something that wasn't like I don't remember something properly. So like I'll read the page and then like I'll have all this idea like and all hung up on this one thought, and then I'll go back and read the page like that's not even in it. Like where did that thought even come from? Like I was like trying to figure out this weird perspective. Like he wasn't even requiring that of me. Why did I get locked onto that? Some random idea. But yeah, so but Anthony's really descriptive in his pages anyway. He's really awesome about it.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much our process, and then I send it over to Steven. He starts drawing, and then he'll send his inks over to me. I'll flat color them, and then send it back to him. He shades them while I'm lettering. So right now, I'm lettering issue 2 is what I'm doing.
Yeah, but the fact that you're able to be like you guys have each other's back. So like whatever, if something's like, oh, this isn't working, like, all right, I'll help you. Like we'll help each other get to our goal, which is really cool.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome. I just wish I didn't have a full-time job, because then we would be able to put out.
Oh, there's
we could make month deadlines easily. We could easily publish a comic a month if we didn't have,
live.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So next question for you, Steve. We all learn as we go through this. Like we were just talking about how like the campaigns and everything have changed in the last couple of years and everything. Like, what have you learned in your like Kickstarting crowdfunding experience that you wish you would have known before, or that you can just kind of impart to people who might be dipping their toes in that water for the first time? Like, what's something that's like you're like, I wish I knew this crap?
I mean, definitely. So I think I told you guys, pirate ship has been very, very helpful
Love it.
for if you're a creator and you're trying to ship everything out. Pirate ship is excellent because it keeps track of the mail and like how things are going up or down on the prices.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to print out the labels instead of having the post office hate you.
Yeah.
Because I would go in with like hundreds of things and the guy's like, oh no. Like,
you know what I mean? Dude, we're gonna be here for a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's gross out over here with his freaking mailers. What is this?
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, I bought a little laser label printer. And
those are cool. That's awesome.
Little label range printer, and then dude, I just print it out and stick it on. Dude, it's so, you taught me pirate ship. I'm so used to it now, and you're right. It stores like information for me too. Like if I it's great.
Pirate ship is very helpful, definitely for using that. And also just in terms of your campaign, whatever you're excited about your project, people will get excited about it too. But share that. You got to share it. You got to tell people why you're excited about it. Like for this, I'm so excited. This is a fucking sequel. This is the second issue that I've ever done in my life.
That is pretty
of course,
cool.
I'm like, all right, I got to up the ante. I got to add more violence. I got to add more slots. I got to add more, hopefully a better storytelling than the last one. So if you put love in your stuff, then you'll find your people.
Heck yeah, dude. Steven, you want to read the next one? I'm sorry, I skipped over.
Oh yeah, let me load it up.
It's number 8.
I wasn't sure what you guys had done while I was away.
Just leather and fang stuff.
Leather and lace, leather and fang.
Leather fang.
I missed the best conversation. That's what you're telling me. So how can someone who has never written a comic book get to where you are? What are good first steps that maybe you took, or that you can suggest someone else take that you didn't take, even maybe that you know now?
So the best thing to do is just do it. Try to write your story down. The best part of my journey was going through comics experience. So like if you're trying to write a comic or figure out how to write a comic, there's plenty of schools out there. Comics experience has been great because they're kind of embracing me as one of their own, and they help promote me. They help, find me good artists and things like that. But it just their classes were helpful. If you don't want to go through comics experience, there are definitely workshops with many different comic creators out there that you could sign up for and just find online. But yeah, school is the best way to go through it, just because you're in a group of like a workshop. So like you're not gonna I still am learning. I still don't know everything. But
End of interview. Get out of here. We only interview the best. No,
it's just luck at this point. Like I'm just like, okay, people like this. Okay, people like this even more. Oh wait, I can go back to this. So it's been very cool. But I've been having fun, and I think that helps. But yeah, school, workshops definitely help. Just because you're vulnerable when you're writing. You're trying to figure out whatever. But like in terms of like a workshop, people can give you such good feedback and good, criticism you might not even notice while you're writing. So I definitely think going to a comic book writing school is probably the way to go. That helped me a lot, and I hope it will help you.
Awesome,
dude. Thank you. So yeah, it's so important. I love how humble you are, and I think we've learned a lot from you. Like I didn't know comics experience was a thing before we met you, and that's really cool. And I feel like we've also like the pirate ship. I've told a bunch of people about that, and hopefully more people learn about it through this. And it's so cool. Like I feel like the gatekeeping aspect of the community is like the worst part, or one of the darker worst parts of the community. And I feel like we should all kind of be here for one another, and like, you know, so if we
I
learn
mean,
these little
all of
things,
us are trying, and all of us are trying to figure it all out anyway. You know, if anybody has tips, share. You know what I mean? I don't care about. I don't even know what kind of race this is. Like, you know, some people are very competitive. It's like I don't even know who's reading my stuff, not reading my stuff, whether I'm good, bad, whatever. I'm just doing my thing. Like that's all I care about. Just put out the story, and as long as I entertain one person that's not my mom, then we're good.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is it's not really a race, right? So like that's why like I think it's so confusing when people do get so like gatekeeping and competitive. It's like all you're gonna win is that someone else isn't gonna succeed. You're not guaranteeing your spot because you block someone else from making it. You know, it's such a weird,
Listen,
a weird thought.
us three as you know, a group here have BDE. We don't need that SDE. All right.
all right.
If you're get that SDE, because if you're gatekeeping in comics, or you're keeping people from achieving stuff, then fuck you. Because I feel tough. You know what I mean? I'm not a tough guy, but I feel tough in the comic space, and I will gladly call somebody out if I see something like that.
It's it's bogus. Like just let people chase their respective dreams, you know.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to write a Spider-Man. Like, okay, like all right, like you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like I'm done with that shit.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, we've been so fortunate to and like part of it's the selective attention thing. Like if I like smell like if I get a whiff of like drama or like the wrong kind of comic, you know, fan, I just like and I just like throw it away or like immediately, dude. Like, but like we have been so fortunate in meeting just the coolest people in the comics community, and I've just been like littering my walls with stickers and like books, and I have all this stuff. I'm just like poor. I'm poor because of the comics community, and I'm just here to say that I'm afraid of money, guys. I'm afraid of money.
Terrified
of money. No, okay.
He's gonna overcome his fears.
So,
you gotta face them. You gotta face a lot of them.
You gotta face all my fears, guys. Give me so
preferably in $20 increments.
I mean, Benjamin Franklin's pretty scary,
pretty terrifying.
But he's terrifying.
So, but yeah, we've all been fortunate, like, but it's just gonna keep feeding itself, you know. Like the more we meet people like you and keep trying to like help one another, I think it's good. Like all, you know, everything that rises must converge. Like we're all doing this.
Growing. It's only a matter of time before they're like, all right, who's left to give these comic properties to? Those three. Let's do it.
It's time to bring sexy back to comics.
I know. Listen,
we're gonna get Leather, Gross Out, and Fang. Those are gonna be our properties,
and we're gonna make them the most popular characters in the cinematic.
We're gonna Guardians of the Galaxy the hell out of those.
I think we could. I think we could.
I 100% agree, dude. I think a rock band of monsters. You think we can't make that happen? We could do that for sure.
The Monster Mash has like, I mean, it's just great. Like that's just a great.
So good.
That's like the battle of the bands for these monster bands.
The Monster Mash.
All right, dude. Last question we have for you. What's next for you after this campaign? What's your, what future books do you have going on, and what's your future look like? What are you doing?
So I will say this. I mean, I'll talk with you offline. My next project after Slowpokes is gonna blow you away. Like it is something completely different, completely outside of the horror realm. I am very excited to share with it. Whether it goes well or doesn't go well, I'm so excited to show up once Slowpokes 2, the campaign is over. Zombie Date Night 2, I've been working on that. I am almost finished with that, so look for that in the future. And then I have some other projects that I'm kicking around, but again, it's just kind of like a feeling, like, you know what I mean? You kind of follow your muse. And like, that's the same thing with Slowpokes too, is I was like, all right, I did Slowpokes, did Zombie Date Night, did Ex Machina, because I was like, I want to make sure that, yes, I do the slot stuff, but I don't want to just do that. I want to do other stuff and
you got to give it time for the first one to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Bit, and yeah, exactly. And, so I want to do some cool stuff. I also have, I took a class. I'll tell you offline who it was with, but I asked them a question. I was like, what do you do to not get like typecast or like pigeonholed to like the same things? Cause I'm like, all right, I do the horror comedy, but what if I wanted to do something more serious down the line? And he told me, stay in your lane. So so that for me is a challenge to completely do something different. And I cannot wait to get there. Because I'm like, all right, you don't even know me, and you told me to just keep doing the same things. That challenges me. That puts a fire under my ass.
For sure, dude. That's awesome though, but it did.
Yeah. Instead
Stay
of
in your lane.
trying, like,
I mean,
stay in your lane, or like, don't, like, if you're good at something, just stick with it.
yeah,
basically.
my lane does this, so I mean, like, what do you know?
Yeah,
Like, you're trying to do, like, you're doing one of those arcade like racing games, and I'm playing Mario Kart. I'm throwing shells at people and flying all over the place. I'm like, do you not know how to drift, bro? Like,
and that's like the secret guy that told me that. Life is my lane.
Life is my lane. But I just think, I mean, listen, he's successful. He was nice about it. It wasn't,
for sure.
the contention thing. But it's just like, how dare you tell somebody that? You know what I mean? Like, how dare you tell somebody like you can't do something?
Or was he just like the wizened monk who knows that you're gonna write what you know and do the best thing anyway?
I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. It's just that I feel like that is gonna be the catalyst for something good. Like, you know what I mean? Like taking that, I think that's bad advice, and turning it into gold, which you guys will be allergic to, so I have to send it to you to get you
it's
immunity.
Terrifying. Gold is the scariest. I mean, by the ounce. I mean, ooh.
All right, dude. We have to get out of here. It's been amazing talking to you. We can't wait to talk to you again on the podcast. I'm sure we're going to do it for your next project and hopefully every project after that. Like,
that'd be great.
Yeah,
and if there's anything I can do to help promote you guys or whatever, let me know.
Absolutely. Deathless should be coming to print very soon. So we
awesome,
already got onto the Kickstarters, and then after that, it's just, pushing it to other people that didn't, find us on the Kickstarter.
Well, I will be back. I back all your projects. So like it's
awesome.
a no-brainer.
Yeah, dude. But thank you so much. Thank you all for watching this first ever attempt at We Have Interviews. I think it went pretty well. I don't know for sure. You have to let us know in the comments. Share this with everyone you know. Please go back Steve Urena's book and all of his future books. He's an awesome guy. Go follow him on Twitter. All the links are below in the description. We really appreciate you. We love you. Steven, say something. I'm talking too much, Steven. I'm talking.
I just wait for you to take a breath.
I can't. I'm
just over here.
I don't breathe. I'm like the little girl from The Ring, but with breathing instead of sleeping. It's just
like I said, Steve is like one of the ones, like one of the awesome dudes that we were like met off rip and just immediately clicked with. He's good people. He's just good. And like, you need to back him. You need to go check out all of his other books. He's got all of them. Just talk to the guy. Like Anthony said, the links are going to be below, probably on both videos. I think this one and our main video that comes out this week. So, definitely give him a shout out. He's definitely worth backing. He's definitely worth becoming a friend with.
Heck yeah, Steve. Is there anything else you want to say to people where they can find you? Although I'm going to post it all below.
Just have fun. Keep reading comics. Keep supporting the independent comic community. I mean, I've talked about myself enough. Go and support your local, comic book artist or writer, please.
Heck yeah. And thank you all so much. If you'd like to be interviewed by us in the upcoming weeks or whenever, contact us on Twitter at twitter.com/wehaveissuespod and let us know what you're doing. Let us know what kind of stuff you make and what you want to share and what you want to talk about. And we'd love to hear from you. I even bought a calendar, Steven. I bought a calendar. It's a teacher calendar too. So officially I'm a teacher. I think that's how the law works. I don't know. I didn't write it. So.
And that was it.
And that was it. The computer exploded. Nothing worked from that point on. Steve was a sloth the whole time.
What's up, guys? Nice to see you.
It's been too long, buddy. How you been?
It's been good. How about you guys? How's everything? I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your friend and everything, but with on the good side, Deathless looks awesome. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. No, yeah, it's been a time for us
for sure. We had a tough couple of months, but we're definitely bouncing back full force now. So you just deal with it the way you got to deal with it, and then you just move on. You have to keep pushing forward. So
you never bring it up again until your friend Steve Urena shows up and he's like, "Hey, how are your hearts? You want to turn those hearts into piñatas? Let's do this." No, I'm totally with you. Thank you, dude. We appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the thing. Like, on a similar note, like my sister passed away a few years ago. And when that happened, it was you want to be destructive. You want to do something crazy, but every now and then you're like, you know what? Take all that stuff, put it into something positive. So like, instead of doing destructive stuff, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just go to concerts, or why don't I just go out and just
expel that energy, basically?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Steve, you're starting out dark, Steve. You're starting out dark. Okay, so